Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Tracy Mayhew and I write adult contemporary romances and YA fantasy fiction. So I'm back. Due to a family emergency, I have kind of disappeared from YouTube for a few weeks, but I am back. I'm ready to return to making YouTube videos, and I have to admit it does feel a little bit strange sitting here again talking to you guys after so long. It kind of feels like I've backtracked and like the first 5 or 6 videos I recorded never actually happened, and I feel like I'm back at square one again. But today's video is just going to be a quick roundup of what's been happening with my book, what's been happening with other areas like NaNoWriMo plans and things like that. So it's just going to be a little chat, kind of informal, with your favourite drink. I love this mug. This was a birthday present from my brother. But yeah, so grab your favourite hot drink, sit down with me for a bit and we'll just have a chat. So my biggest news for recent times is that I've finally finished Not Just for Christmas. This is the final copy of it. It's going through a final round of edits at the moment, and please forgive the massive blue block there because I don't want anyone to read the first page before I'm ready. But yeah, so that's going through its final round of edits. It's been to my CP, my critique partner, and it's been to a couple of beta readers as well. All positive so far, so I'm hoping, I do have a release date in mind, and I'm hoping that I'm going to stay on track with that. But I will talk more about release dates and things on Instagram and in later YouTube videos in the next couple of weeks or so. I've also written the blurb for it. Again, I will release that in due course as well. But everything is sort of like rolling forward with it. It's all looking positive, and I'm really excited. I can't wait to bring it to you. I love this book so much. I mean, I was writing it in a heat wave in the UK, and it still gave me Christmassy vibes. So I'm hoping it will do the same for anyone who picks it up in, December or January, whenever they manage to get around to reading it. Generally though, I've been really struggling to read at the moment with everything that's been going on. It's kind of hard to, I've kind of found it hard to focus. But I kind of started my Christmas reading early because I just thought, you know what, I've been living in a Christmas fantasy world for so long, I'm not ready to leave Christmas yet. So I've read this and I'm nearly at the end. But I will do a proper review on this in a couple of weeks when I talk about what I'm going to be reading in October, because I'll do like a little roundup of what I've read so far. And yeah, and I've got some pretty awesome pile of library. This isn't all of my library books. I've actually got about 10, but these are the ones that I will be reading over the next few months to see me out to the end of the year mostly. I mean, we've got Christmas books, obviously. We've got a couple of those, I think. Yeah, 2 Christmas books. And I've got some October reading that I will be talking about in a couple of weeks' time as well. So you will learn more about those books that I'm reading as time goes on with another YouTube video. But yeah, so that has really helped kind of like bring me back to being able to enjoy reading again. It's been lovely. But as I say, a review will be coming for that later. I've also been thinking ahead so much. This is the time of year when you start thinking about not only Christmas, buying presents for family and stuff like that, and in my case, releasing a Christmas book, but this is also the time of year when we start to think about keep calling it Camp Nano because I've been doing that for the majority of this year, but in November it'll be the actual Nano. So I've been thinking ahead to that, and I've been thinking about my projects for that and what I'll be doing for that, and I haven't actually decided on what project I'll be doing. I've got 2 in mind, and I will be talking more about that in October when I do like Nano Preptober videos. But it does involve reading a lot of books, which is good for me because again, this is what's going to help me focus my mind on developing my Viking series, finishing that off, because I've done the first 2. Oh, that's another thing actually I forgot to mention. I'm also reading this, rereading this, and then rereading The Rising Storm, which is the second book in the Viking saga, because obviously my Nano project will revolve around the third book of this. So I'm just rereading those first two now to kind of go over the plot line, refresh my memory of what happened in books 1 and 2. Talk about, like, pick up any threads that I've left in the first two books, and then develop the story from there. I mean, obviously I have an idea of what's going to happen. I know how it's going to end. It's just filling in that time, that chunk in the middle where I'm just like, what needs to happen? So it's all about, at the moment, gearing myself up towards Nano, which is in November. So I'm reading these research books, and this one, I haven't started this one yet, but this is by a guy called Jackson Crawford. And if you are interested in Norse mythology, Norse history, anything Viking related, you should definitely check out his YouTube channel. He is like a professor of Norse history and Norse language and things like that, and he does a lot of videos about all that stuff, so he's really interesting to just sort of listen to have on in the background if you're doing something else or whatever. But he's a really good YouTuber to watch, and obviously he's got a couple of books out, but I'm just concentrating on this one at the moment. But yeah, he's really someone you should look out for if you're interested in that sort of thing. I'm also reading this, Viking Myths and Sagas, and Norse mythology, just to refresh my memory and get me back into that world, because obviously, having written a Christmas book for a couple of months now and lived in a Cotswold village, it's very different from 10th century Norway and Scandinavia. So I'm trying to get my brain back into that world again. Another thing I've found quite useful over the last week or so is I've taken up journaling again. I'm going to talk about journaling in next week's video, because next week's video is going to be all about how to get back into writing after an extended break. And journaling has been a big part of that, because it's allowed me to kind of get my thoughts out of my head onto paper, forget about them for the rest of the day or whatever, and I can just focus on what I need to for my writing or my business or whatever I need to do for the day. But as I say, I will be talking about that in more detail next week. Next week's video will be, as I say, about getting back into writing after an extended break. It will be a longer video. This video has been quite short, I think, but I think again it's more for me about getting in front of the camera again, like feeling relaxed and being able to chat to you and just sort of like catch you up on what's been going on and where I am with my book and everything else. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing next week's video. It will feel more like a proper video. But I will say it is good to be back. I'm glad to be able to talk to you again and to chat and to fill you in on what's going on. And I can't wait to restart and return to making those videos that I was making before the break. So yeah, let me know if you're looking forward to next week's video. Let me know what you've been up to in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you next week. See you later.